Welcome to this week's episode of the Texan News Scoop, your weekend review of this week's top stories from the campus, region, and beyond. Today is September 16, 2015, and I'm Quinicia Fraser. This week's top stories are Tarleton enrollment increases, Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association returns, Des Bryant injures his foot, Trump addresses veterans' health care, missing people in Cocula, Mexico. In campus news, according to the Tarleton website, Tarleton has once again increased and even set a record for total enrollment, making this the fourth year in a row. With 12,326 students increases enrollment by 6% from last year and 25% from 2011. Minority enrollment has risen significantly this year, with the number of Hispanics by 23%, totaling 1,869, and Black student enrollment by 7%, totaling 1,136. Students enrollment in master's programs here at Tarleton is up by nearly 7%, totaling 1,459, and the doctoral programs is up by 26%, totaling 121. In local news, according to the Stephenville Empire-Tribune, Stephenville, Texas, the cowboy capital of the world, Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association will be coming soon. 25 of the 120 contestants at the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas lived in or within 30 miles of Stephenville. Along with the PRCA, Stephenville will also be celebrating its Western heritage. The Cowboy Capital Rodeo Committee is hosting their Rodeo Queen contest for residents and students in Erath and adjoining counties. In regional news, according to the Dallas Cowboys website, player Des Bryant suffered a foot injury during a game against the New York Giants Sunday night. Bryant is now sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks and may need surgery on his foot. That's a tough loss. You can't replace Des Bryant. I hurt for him right now because I know how much he loves to play this game. We'll have to reassess that and figure out where to put guys and try to help, said quarterback Tony Romo. The Cowboys will have to find a replacement for Bryant before playing the Philadelphia Eagles next week. In national news, according to the Associated Press, presidential candidate Donald Trump takes a stance on health care, specifically health care offered to veterans. During a debate, Trump said, "We have illegal immigrants that are treated better by far than our veterans." However, he offered no details as to how he was going to fund veterans' health care, leaving his foreign policy a blank slate. He even also struggled to answer basic questions in regards to key players in the Middle East and elsewhere. In international news, according to the Associated Press, Cocula, Mexico is something of a crossroads. People are living in fear. Some, such as Rose Segura Regal, are living in grief. On June 31st, 2013, her 19-year-old daughter, on July 31st, 2013, her 19-year-old daughter disappeared and was just hours from graduating high school. Here's a video from the Associated Press.
Cocula, Mexico is something of a crossroads. Its people are living in fear. Some, like Rosa Segura Hiral, live in grief. On July 1st, 2013, her 19-year-old daughter disappeared from here. She was just hours from graduating high school. Like so many here, she's afraid to show her face.
We never knew what really happened, and since then, we do not know anything about her. As of today, we have no news. It's been over 2 years, and we don't know anything about her or anyone who was taken. Nobody knows anything. It's not only them, there are many more.
Including Bernice Navarrijo Segura, 17 people disappeared from Cocula that day. They call them Los Otros Desaparecidos. The other disappeared, and they aren't the only ones. Since 2007, more than 25,000 people across Mexico have disappeared. Few people seem to pay attention until September 26, 2014, the day 43 college students disappeared from Iguala, just 10 miles from Cocula. A government investigation said the notorious Guerreros Unidos drug gang killed them and burned their remains. Their families aren't convinced. To tell the story of the other disappeared, the Associated Press interviewed the relatives of 158 of them. Most of the families are poor. Some parents are illiterate. All but 11 of the disappearances happened between 2010 and 2015, the family said. Nearly all were in Guerrero, one of Mexico's poorest states. That's where Cocula is. The missing range in age from 13 to 60. Most were men or boys. Fear of cartels and authorities stopped most families from coming forward. But late last year, some families scoured surrounding mountains, searching for hidden graves. They've gathered for prayer. They've marched to raise awareness. They've given DNA samples to help identify the more than 100 bodies found. For more than a year after her daughter's disappearance, Rosa Segura Hiral stopped selling pizza, her livelihood. Her daughter used to sell slices in the neighborhood. She called Bernice Princesa, Princess, a teenager with a promising future. Her graduation presents are still there.
Ahora sí que a mi peor enemigo le deseo ese dolor.
I do not wish this pain I have upon my worst enemy, because it is a great pain, not knowing where she is. You don't know what happened to her. You don't know if she's eating, if she is sleeping, if she's sick.
2 years on, despite her grief, she clings to hope that someday Bernice and the other disappeared will find their way home. Alex Sands, The Associated Press.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Texan News Scoop, a product of Texan News Service from the Tarleton campus in Stephenville, Texas. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated on campus and local news. Today's show was produced by Alejandra Araguin and Katie Tonkin. I'm Quinicia Fraser, and have a great weekend, Texans.